Yo, what's up guys, the Corn here, back for another video. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to fly in Roblox Flightline. Now, a bit of a disclaimer, this is not a tutorial that includes a flight plan and is ultra realistic. This is basically just a tutorial on how to fly without crashing, and how to have a smooth landing and takeoff. So let's get started. The first step is to select your aircraft. Just press start flying. Select your aircraft. I'm going to be pressing medium haul airliners, and I'm going to select the Boeing 737-800 in Southwest Airlines. Then select your airport. I'm going to be choosing Wollensel Square, and I'm going to be choosing gate 11 as my gate. So go ahead and spawn in. Now I'm going to show you how to fly the airplane. At all times your nav lights are on. Like, even if your plane is turned off and you're parked at the gate, you always have your nav lights on. A, for realism, and B, yeah, it does actually allow other aircraft to see you when it's dark or there's low visibility. Another thing, another helpful tip, is to press J, and you'll get a jetway deployed to your area. Again, just kind of for realism there. But, yeah, so that's pretty much all the things that you need to know when you're parked at the gate. Just press J again to get rid of the jetway, and then just press V and E to push back and start the engines. Once you're pushed back out of the gate, press L for the taxi lights, and press F once to put the flaps to 5 degrees. Then put your throttle to about 35 or so until you reach 20 to 25 knots. Once you've reached 20 to 25 knots, reduce the speed to a good speed where you can just cruise and the aircraft speed isn't going to change. Another useful tip that I can't, unfortunately I cannot demonstrate at the moment, is you always want to listen to tower and follow their instructions. It doesn't seem that there's any traffic at this airport, nor is there an active tower. So at this time, when you're coming up on the runway here, you'll want to press L again to turn on the strobe lights. You can also activate the lights in this little panel in here. See this? You can just do it via the panel, but I just usually press L. You can also do the flaps and even the throttle. Now the runway is clear, so I'm gonna press L again for my landing lights, and I'm just gonna line up with the runway. And actually, it turns out there was one thing that I forgot to mention while we were parked at the gate. Set an ILS for your approach. It'll make it a lot easier. I plan to land at Toffen Bridge International on runway 9 right. Now at this time we are clear for takeoff, so we'll just bring our throttles up to about half and press Q for full throttle. In a 737, once you're at about 120 knots, rotate the aircraft up. Once a positive rate of climb has been achieved, press G for the landing gear. Once you're in the air, press the auto throttle button to engage the auto throttles. And if you really wanted to be a little bit more realistic, you could press nav flight plan and press the autopilot button. At this time, we can bring up our flaps by just either pressing F a whole bunch of times or going into the panel and pulling this all the way up. Another handy feature is to zoom out on the map by pressing the plus button. Zoom in by pressing the minus. Another thing that you can do is by going into the cockpit view by pressing the view button until you get the view that you like. I'm just going to hand fly my airplane all the way to the airport because I'm not going to bother engaging the autopilot. But I am going to make a left turn right now. I'm going for a heading of about 270. You can view your heading by looking at these numbers right here. Once you reach 10,000 feet, you can turn off your landing lights. Now I'll start my descent to about 2,500 feet. Now another thing to know in this game is that there is crosswinds and they do change. Right now there's a northwest crosswind at about 10 knots, so we'll have to be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna reduce my speed to about 190 knots. You can slow you down your aircraft a bit by extending the spoilers while you're descending. I'm gonna go flaps 5 and reduce my speed to about 155 to 160 knots. I can put my spoilers in now. By this time, we can drop the landing gear and set the flaps to 15. Now I'm gonna do this landing in the cockpit view. I'm gonna disengage my auto throttles now, and I'm gonna have the airplane to myself to approach now.
Sync rate. Pull up.
I'm now gonna deploy the flaps to 30.
1,000.
And you might also considering arming your spoilers so when you land, they'll deploy automatically. Flaps 30 is going to be my final approach flaps for today.
500. 400. 300.
You'll want to land right on the 2 white squares.
200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Slowly idle down your throttles until a smooth touchdown is achieved. Hold down S and B and try to follow the center line the best you can. You can also do rudders in the controls. Once you're at about 65 knots or so, clear the reverse thrusts and retract the spoilers. Slow down, take your turn, and put in the flaps. turn off all your lights, turning back on the nav and taxi. And I'll admit I made a mistake. I didn't turn on the landing lights back on approach. Oops. Taxi the aircraft to the gate of your choice. Taxi to the gate, turning off the lights except for the nav. Taxi until you're on this little horizontal line. Press E twice to turn off the engines, and press J to deploy the jetway. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you'd like to see more tutorials, especially on the Roblox Flightline side of things, let me know in the comments section. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.